In the chaotic world of modern attraction, men are lost. You are bombarded with conflicting advice. One guru tells you to be the nice guy, to be agreeable, to put her on a pedestal. You try it, and you end up in the friend zone, watching her fall for someone who treats her with a fraction of your kindness. Another guru tells you to be the aggressive alpha, to use manipulative tactics, to treat her with disdain. You try it, and you feel like an imposter, a jerk, acting out a role that feels hollow and inauthentic. The rules seem designed to be confusing, a game where the goalposts are always moving. But what if I told you that for thousands of years, there has existed a secret source code for masculine attraction, a timeless operating system that runs beneath all the fleeting trends and flawed advice, a philosophy forged not in internet forums, but in the fires of the Roman Empire by some of the most powerful and resilient men who ever lived. This is the hidden power of Stoicism, and it is not about being a passionless monk. It is about becoming a man of such profound inner strength and unshakable calm that respect and attraction become the natural consequences of your very existence. Today, we are unlocking that source code. We are revealing the 7 Stoic laws of masculine attraction. These are not tips or tricks. These are fundamental laws of the universe, like gravity. You can either be ignorant of them and be constantly pulled down by them, or you can understand them, align with them, and use them to build a life of incredible power, freedom, and deep, authentic connection. Let us begin. The first and most important law is the law of the unconquerable kingdom. This law states, your inner world is your sovereign kingdom. Its stability and value must never be dependent on a citizen from a foreign land. Your mind, your principles, your mission, and your self-worth. This is your kingdom. You are its only king. A woman, no matter how wonderful, is a visitor to this kingdom. She may be a cherished ally, a welcome queen, but she is not the source of the kingdom's power. The anxious man, the boy, makes the fatal error of building his entire kingdom for a visitor. He decorates its walls with her approval. He funds its treasury with her validation. He measures its success by her presence. And when she decides to leave, as all visitors are free to do, his entire kingdom collapses into ruin, because it was never truly his own. The Stoic man, the king, understands that his primary and most sacred duty is to the health and fortification of his own kingdom. He focuses on building an inner world so rich, so purposeful, and so deeply fulfilling on its own that it is a magnificent place to be, whether he has visitors or not. He defines his own laws, his non-negotiable virtues. He builds his own structures, his daily disciplines. And he pursues his own grand project, his life's mission. When a woman encounters a man like this, she is not meeting a needy refugee seeking asylum in her reality. She is meeting a fellow sovereign, a king who is the master of his own domain. His confidence is not a performance. It is a natural byproduct of a well-ruled kingdom. She cannot grant him this confidence, and therefore she cannot take it away. This self-possession, this internal validation, is the bedrock of all masculine attraction. Before you can ever hope to attract a queen, you must first be the undisputed king of your own soul. The second unbreakable law is the law of detached action. This law states, be married to your effort, but merely a casual acquaintance with the result. This is the Stoic secret to eliminating the fear of rejection and the anxiety of outcome. Imagine an archer. The untrained archer obsesses over the target. His entire sense of success is tied to whether the arrow hits the bullseye. Because of this, his hands tremble, his breath is shallow, and his focus is split between his form and his fear. The Stoic archer, however, understands the dichotomy of control. He knows that his job is to perfect everything within his power: his stance, his grip, his breathing, his aim, and the clean release of the arrow. This, the process, is his entire focus. He falls in love with perfection of the action itself. Once the arrow leaves the bow, the outcome is no longer in his hands. A sudden gust of wind, a flaw in the arrow, a target that moves. These are external factors. You must become the Stoic archer in your interactions. When you decide to approach a woman, your victory is not in getting her number. Your victory is in the courageous act of the approach itself. When you send a text, your success is not in her reply. Your success is in the authentic and direct communication of your intent. You must pour 100% of your energy into the quality of your action, And then you must radically and completely release your attachment to the reaction it produces. This is not a mindset of pessimism. It is a mindset of profound power. It makes you fearless. You can act with boldness and authenticity because your self-worth is not on the line. She can say yes. She can say no. Either way, you have already succeeded because you are a man of virtuous action. This detached, outcome-independent energy is incredibly rare and deeply attractive. It signals that you are a man who acts from his own will, not from a need for approval. We are only 2 laws in, and we are already building the foundation for an entirely new reality. If these principles are giving you a new sense of clarity and inner calm you haven't felt before, recognize the power of this philosophy. Do yourself and the other men in your life a favor by hitting that subscribe button and share this video. This isn't just content. This is a manual for building a stronger, more centered generation of men. Let's continue. This brings us to the 3rd crucial law, the law of valuable scarcity. The law states, that which is always available is never perceived as valuable. Treat your time and your attention as your most precious currency. The nice guy, the man languishing in the friend zone, violates this law every single day. He makes his time and attention endlessly and freely available. He will drop his own plans at a moment's notice for a chance to be in her presence. He will reply to her text within seconds, no matter the hour. He will spend hours in conversation, acting as her free emotional tampon, hoping that his unlimited availability will be mistaken for a high value. It is the opposite. Abundance devalues. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote constantly about the shortness of life, not because he was morbid, but because he was outraged at how carelessly we waste our most precious asset, our time. A man who does not value his own time signals to the world that his time is not worth valuing. To embody this law is not to play games or to be manipulative. It is to have a life. It is the natural consequence of following law number 1 and building your own kingdom. When you have a mission, your time is genuinely scarce. You cannot be available for every last-minute whim because you are busy building your empire. You cannot text back instantly because you are engaged in deep work. Your scarcity must be authentic. It must be a byproduct of your purpose. You must build a life so engaging and meaningful to you that your time and attention truly become your royal currency. You then allocate that currency with the prejudice of a wise king. You invest it where it will yield the greatest return. In your mission, your health, your growth, and in the people who have proven they deserve it. When you do grant a woman your time and attention, it is felt as a true gift, not an entitlement. Your presence is more powerful because it is not a constant. This is not about being a jerk. It is about profound self-respect. You are teaching the world how to treat you by first demonstrating how you treat yourself and your own time. A man who values his time is a man who will be valued. We left our warrior at the dawn of his new reality. He has survived a brutal training hall, transforming himself from a clumsy and reactive novice into a skilled and formidable duelist. He is no longer a danger to himself. He is a man of power, precision, and purpose. He can offend his boundaries with the sharp parry of a well-placed no. He can advance his mission with the focused thrust of his disciplined will. He stands in the arena of life, confident in his skill, respected by his allies, and feared by his opponents. For many men, this is the final goal, to be the victor, the champion, the man who wins. But the path of the true warrior does not end here. The stage of the duelist, for all its glory, is a dangerous plateau. It is a gilded cage of its own, and the man who stays here too long will never achieve the final, most profound stage of his development. The ascension from a skilled warrior to a true sword master is the most difficult journey of all, for it is a journey that requires a man to transcend the very fight that defined him. The duelist faces 3 subtle but potent dangers that can trap him in a state of perpetual conflict. The first is an addiction to the duel. Having become skilled at fighting, whether in the boardroom, in debates, or in personal conflicts, he begins to subconsciously seek out conflict to validate his skill. His identity becomes fused with being a winner in a relationship. This is the man who is always looking for a test to pass, a flaw to correct, or an argument to win. He creates friction where none is needed, because the quiet calm of peace feels alien to his warrior spirit. The second danger is the armor of the ego. His success and his skill can forge a heavy, impenetrable armor of pride. He who was once a humble student becomes a man who believes he has nothing left to learn. As Nietzsche warned, he who fights with monsters should be careful lest he become a monster. The dualist risks becoming so armored in his own rightness that he can no longer be reached by feedback, by love, or by the wisdom that comes from admitting a mistake. His sword, once a tool of liberation, becomes the very thing that isolates him from the world. The third danger is the isolation of the victor. The dualist is respected, but he is often alone. His constant focus on strength, competition, and victory can make it difficult to cultivate the softer virtues of empathy, vulnerability, and deep connection. He is a fearsome warrior, but he may not be a loving partner. He has mastered the art of the fight, but not the art of peace. To ascend beyond this glorious but limited stage, the dualist must embark on a new kind of training. It is not about learning a new technique with the sword. It is about transforming his entire relationship with it. He must learn the three principles of the master. The first principle is the concept of the sword of no sword. This is a principle found in the highest levels of martial arts philosophy. The ultimate skill of the sword master is not his ability to win any fight, but his ability to de-escalate conflict so that no fight is necessary. His presence, his calmness, his reputation for wisdom are so profound that opponents hesitate. He wins without ever having to draw his blade. His power is not in his aggression, but in a profound and unshakable restraint. He does not seek to prove his strength, and therefore, it is never truly questioned. The second principle is the shift from victory to virtue. The dualist's primary goal is to win. The sword master's primary goal is to act with virtue. Before any conflict, he asks not, "How can I win this?" but "What is the wisest, most just, and most temperate way to act right now?" He understands that sometimes the most virtuous action is to walk away from a pointless battle. Sometimes it is to concede a trivial point to maintain harmony. Sometimes it is to listen with empathy to an opponent and transform them into a partner. The master has transcended his ego's desperate need for victory and has aligned his will with a higher purpose, to be a good man. The third and final principle is the creation of protective circle. The dualist uses his sword for himself, to defend his honor, to advance his goals, to carve out his own territory. The sword master turns his skill outward. He learns to draw a protective circle around those he cares for. He uses his strength not for personal glory, but to create a space of safety, order, and peace for his family, his partner, and his community. This is where the warrior finally becomes a king. His power is no longer a self-serving weapon, but a benevolent instrument of service. He is the guardian of his kingdom, and this is his highest calling. When a man has integrated these principles, when he has mastered not just his sword but himself, he completes the final ascension. He is no longer the novice, nor is he the dualist. He is the sword master. What does this man look like in the world? His presence is one of profound and quiet power. He does not carry the tense, aggressive energy of the dualist, who is always ready for a fight. He carries the deep, grounded calm of the mountain. He is approachable, he is kind, but there is an undeniable and unshakable core to him that signals to the world that he is not to be trifled with. In his relationship, he is the ultimate source of security. A conflict with him is not a scary, ego-driven duel. It is a process of discovery, guided by a wise and just leader who is seeking the best outcome for both people. His partner does not feel the need to wear armor around him. She can be vulnerable. She can be emotional. She can be her authentic self, because she knows she is in the presence of a man who has his own power under perfect control. He is the man who possesses both the fierce, protective spirit of the lion and the gentle, empathetic heart of the lamb. The sword master is truly free. He is free because he has nothing to prove. The dualist is still a slave to the arena, constantly needing new opponents to feel alive. The master finds his peace not in a clash of swords, but in the quiet of the dojo, in the perfection of his own character. He has won the only battle that ever truly mattered, the battle over himself. The journey of the masculine sword is a journey of a lifetime. We begin as a clumsy novice, a danger to ourselves. Through discipline and purpose, we ascend to become the powerful duelist, a master of the fight. And through even greater wisdom and humility, we can finally achieve the grace of the sword master, a man who no longer needs to fight at all. This is the ultimate path. It is not just a path to power, but the path to peace. It is a journey of transforming your will from a crude weapon into an instrument of virtue. It is the art of becoming a man so skilled, so centered, and so wise that your strength becomes a source of tranquility for yourself and for the entire world. If you are ready to continue on this path, to sharpen your own sword, and to master the art of becoming a formidable and virtuous man, then subscribe to the channel. Join our dojo. We are a community of men dedicated to this lifelong pursuit of excellence. Thank you for training with us today.